February is the shortest month in the calendar, yet it seems endless in the central part of Turkey and the northwestern provinces of Syria. On the 6th of February at 4:17 a.m. local time, the earth shook. Even after the first quake, the houses collapsed like a castle of cards. Yet, the lucky ones who were able to escape the devastation hardly had the chance to catch their breath before another shockwave hit the area 11 minutes later. Some buildings that survived the first quake couldn't withstand the second and collapsed. The rising sun revealed the true extent of the devastation. Rescue teams were sent from all over the country and the world, but the local airport had become inoperable, making it even more challenging to provide timely assistance. A race against time had begun. Under the professional leadership of László Lehoczki and with the coordination of László Turi, the Hungarian rescue team began its activities in the city of Antakya, in the province of Hajdú. They brought 4 highly trained search dogs with them. Their equipment weighed 250 kilograms. This logistical challenge would have been impossible to overcome without Péter, Bessenyei, and István, Molnár. Upon hearing about their arrival, as a Hungarian residing in Turkey, I traveled to the region to support our volunteer rescue team as an interpreter and local coordinator. Moataz Kadour, a civil engineer from Syria, joined me. Along with the rescue team, we left early every day and returned in the middle of the night, with just enough time to gather strength for the challenges ahead. László Lehoczki needs no introduction. He participated in the rescue operations after the 1999 Izmit earthquake, together with his renowned 4-legged colleague, Monch. After 23 years, he has returned to help. His current 4-legged companion is named Hope. Hope. Yes, that's how we embarked on our journey toward the seemingly endless ruins. A crumbling private hospital looms in the background, while in the foreground, Turkish and Syrian volunteers in civilian clothes walk through the rubble-strewn streets. The Hungarian rescue team marches in its distinctive uniforms. We are tasked with locating a site in response to an emergency call, but there are no streets and the houses are unrecognizable. As far as the eye can see, only ruins and machines are visible.
Dalma. Dalma, dalma. Kendine gel. Wake up, wake up. Acil, acil, acil. Yanımda Macar ekibi var. Macar ekibi var.
The young man making the phone call is looking for his cousin and his family, but it is not clear where exactly their apartment was located. People wait day and night by the mountains of rubble, clinging to hope beyond hope that a miracle will happen and their loved ones will be found alive, buried under the cold and heavy stones. The team searches all reachable locations thoroughly and repeatedly. This is what the block of flats looked like before 3 buildings collapsed into each other. Today, only the red house in the background confirms that we are in the same location. Tension and exhaustion weigh heavily on everyone as we wait for any sign of life. We pursue the miracle with the same determination with which they hold on to hope. That's why we stay at each location until it becomes painfully evident that with heavy hearts we must yield our place to the machines and grief. We received another request for help from a disaster prevention volunteer in Balıkesir. They asked us to help retrieve the deceased from a condemned house located 50 meters away from our location. With demolition work ongoing, they saw no hope of retrieving the remains in a dignified manner. However, it was important to return the lost loved ones to their families intact so they could be buried properly. We arrived at this house and checked on Google Maps to understand the layout of the corridors, bedrooms, staircase, and exits. The building had 7 stories, and according to the map, there used to be a pharmacy, a candy store, and tobacco shop on the ground floor. However, we couldn't find any trace of them. This is how the street looks now. A Montenegrin firefighter brigade was also working at the same location. Little did we know at that time how fortunate we were to be working alongside such a highly skilled and professional team. At street level, what seems to be the 3rd or 4th floor of the house was once the building's 7th floor and the roof. The extent of the damage and destruction is evident, with several floors completely gone, leaving only remnants of what used to be.
Bura koku var. Buradayım.
Nikolatta, Binda, László, Turi, and Nózi, along with Ersin Güngör from Adana, began their search at the corner of the block. They chose this location because just a day earlier, on the fourth day, Seher, a young lady, was rescued by her family from that very spot. Seher managed to hold on until she reached the hospital, but unfortunately, she lost her battle there.
Hey Nózi, szagolj, mutasd, mutasd! Előre személykeres, gyerünk előre, előre, előre!
As Nózi searched the area and found no signs of life, we decided to regroup with the team at the street front. There, we joined László Lehoczki, who was fervently searching with his canine partner Hope. In the meantime, the Montenegrin firefighters worked hard to clear the site, according to the instructions of László Turi and their commander Ilija Bogetic. To facilitate our search efforts, they removed protruding iron beams and concrete blocks that were blocking the openings. Their expertise and assistance were invaluable in making the area safer and more accessible for our search and rescue operation. Suddenly, we noticed a significant change in László Turi's body language and facial expression. It was clear that something had caught his attention or raised his level of alertness. It seemed that László Lehoczki had identified a possible situation where a deceased person was found in the lower part of the building, but there was a chance that there might be a survivor located above that area.
Nagy valószínűséggel halott, fölötte van egy élő. Jelen pillanatban még mindig ész.
László Turi urged everyone to step back and allow László Lehoczki and his canine partner Hope to continue their inspection without being disturbed by any smells or distractions. All eyes were on László Lehoczki as he worked intently in the background, closely following Hope's cues and movements to identify any signs of life. The situation was tense as we awaited further updates and directions from the search and rescue team. Can anyone hear me? Throughout the days we spent at the site, we had heard similar desperate yet hopeful calls echoing from various places, but this time there was no response. The soldiers looked disheartened as they retreated, seemingly resigned to the situation. In the background, Péter Lukács appeared with his search and rescue dog, King. Hope, László Lehoczki's canine partner, seemed to be getting excited, which was a promising sign. Hope's enthusiasm was encouraging, giving us renewed hope that there might be a survivor waiting to be rescued. We anxiously awaited further developments, praying for a positive outcome in the midst of the challenging situation. With Ilija Bogetic, the Montenegrin firefighter chief, taking the lead, a new strategy was devised for the rescue operation. Niki and Nózi formed a line, carefully searching for any signs of life.
Mutasd, mutasd!
László Lehoczki and Hope followed suit, scouring the area meticulously. It was crucial to know where to concentrate our efforts, as the smell of the deceased could potentially mask any scent of possible survivors.
Mondjad már Beskének, hogy a romkamerát tegye össze. Rakja össze.
To ensure accuracy in locating survivors, certain openings needed to be covered, while other gaps had to be opened on the concrete beams. This was necessary to prevent the signal from being diverted by the circulating air inside the ruins, especially during the windy weather. Any mistake could have dire consequences, and extreme caution was exercised to avoid errors in our search and rescue efforts. We were acutely aware of the high stakes and the critical importance of precision in our operations. Before the tragedy, the apartment in question had been occupied by a family of 4. It was impossible to predict how far they had managed to escape after the earthquake struck. During the inspections, however, it was determined that the strongest signal indicating possible survivors came from the corner under the grapple bucket. The search and rescue team quickly began their work in that area. Mechanical assistance was not an option due to the potential risks involved, so the team resorted to slower but safer manual techniques. As they cleared away the rubble, personal belongings began to surface, including adult and children's clothes, a basket of small utilities found in every household, photographs, and souvenirs. The team carefully collected and wrapped everything in a sheet to return them to the family. It was a heartbreaking scene, and everyone involved was acutely aware of the weight of their responsibilities. The team worked with precision and care, ensuring that they did everything possible to find survivors and provide closure for the families of those who had lost their lives. Péter Lukács checked the location again to confirm the live signal. It was still relatively strong, providing hope that survivors might be found. It was the 5th day after the earthquake, and the clock showed 15 hours and 14 minutes. As luck would have it, at that very moment, the volunteers from Istanbul and Ankara, Ersin Gürler Akan and Serkan Ünlü, returned from another operation. They had been tirelessly walking through the ruins with a sound detector, trying to find signs of life. Ersin, who was inside one of the openings, and Serkan, who was waiting outside, suddenly heard something. It was a faint but audible moan, and it was captured on their recording. This was the breakthrough we had been waiting for, and we knew that every second counted. As news of the possible survivor spread, everyone gathered around the site where the faint moan had been detected. Despite a soldier's orders to leave the scene, no one was willing to go anywhere. They all wanted to witness the miracle that was about to unfold. The lady waiting with bated breath was Güzide, the disaster prevention volunteer. She was a dietitian working in Balıkesir who had led the team to the site. Without her, we might not have found the location, but she was there for us. Thank God she was there. The ambulance arrived. A human chain was formed to protect the privacy of those being rescued from prying cameras, respecting their dignity and ensuring their confidentiality. At times, it seemed as if the ruins were reluctant to give up their prisoners. The teams encountered setbacks and had to overcome numerous hurdles during the rescue operation. The Montenegrin and Turkish teams worked tirelessly, using all their skills and expertise to carefully navigate through the narrow passage filled with debris and pieces of metal. The team quickly organized another sound detector search session, determined to get as close as possible to the source of the sound. In order to accurately locate the sound, all the machines and generators working in the area had to be stopped. Everyone understood the importance of silence and cooperation in such critical moments. Like we suspended our work when others were fighting to achieve a miracle at another location. sudden, what we were all waiting for finally happened. A child, successfully rescued, got the chance to see the outside world again. Careful hands cautiously wrapped him in a sheet, and someone else ran with him to the ambulance. Our miracle is called Ahmet, a beautiful 4-year-old boy with starry eyes. He proved to be a strong and resilient spirit who could finally feel safe again after being trapped for 120 hours in hell. Ahmet's vital functions were found to be fine at the city hospital in Adana, where he was taken from Antakya. But even though the doctors and medical staff did everything they could to give Ahmet the best possible care, due to prolonged pressure he had endured during his ordeal, his right leg had to be amputated. His mother Emine and his little sister Zeynep were also not given more time on this earth. Despite being in the same location, only Ahmet was able to escape. Grief and sorrow were palpable as the realization sunk in that Emine and Zeynep could not be saved. We came together to say our goodbyes to Emine and Zeynep in a joint prayer, each person offering their own pleas and condolences according to their own beliefs and creed. The search for Ahmet's father, Mesut, continued with unwavering determination. Despite the efforts of the rescue teams, he remained unaccounted for. The possibility of more survivors made the team restless, and we resumed the search through the rubble that had been cleared up by then. The left corner was where Ahmet emerged from alive, and we longed for another miracle. Hope, Nózi, and Smile worked at the front. Péter, Lukács, and King worked diligently, meticulously, searching through the rubble at the back of the building for any more survivors. As search efforts continued, László, Turi, and Smile carefully checked the area in the front and confirmed that they had detected another possible sign of life. By this time, however, the overwhelming smell of decay had become more prominent and made it difficult for the dogs to distinguish between the scent of a living person and that of a dead one. Even though dogs are able to detect the scent of living humans, if someone passed away within 6 hours, their body may still emit a scent that dogs interpret as them being alive. The whistle signaled for complete silence, followed by a sound detector search.
Ben söylediğimde 1 dakika, 1,5 dakika ne kadar nefesinizi tutabiliyorsanız tutun abi. Nefesini duymam yeterli.
Ersin, Serkan, and Ekrem were there as part of our team, ready to assist once again.
Sesler. Sesimi duyan var mı? Beni duyuyorsan işaret ver.
Senin için geldik.
Senin için geldik. Çok yakınız.
We were also honored to have Ambassador Viktor Matić visit our team at the rescue site, accompanied by 2 of his colleagues. They traveled by car from Ankara to the southern tip of the country, and they managed to locate us despite sporadic phone connectivity. We were then able to share Ahmet's story with them in detail. Meanwhile, the area beneath the rubble was excavated and reinforced to allow us to access the interior of the collapsed structure, while avoiding the bodies found in the front section, blocked by concrete beams. With time running out, we had no other option but to proceed with mechanical debris removal. Ahmet's aunt Dilik brought good news from the hospital. Ahmed was safe and wanted to eat pasta with sour cream as soon as possible. It was a touching and grateful moment for all of us. Serkan struggled to hold back tears and even went off to the side so no one would see him cry. The thought that the live signal might lead to Ahmet's father greatly boosted our motivation. But whoever it was, we hoped they were alive and waiting for us. While debris removal was being done, our international team conducted searches in other locations. We didn't stop for a minute, only taking breaks for quick energy intake. The extremely modest and sensitive Ersin worked with a sound detector. Several days passed before we learned that he is a well-known musician and songwriter from Istanbul. Here's a snippet of one of his songs, accompanied by pictures of our search in different locations.
Aslında o kadar karamsar değilim. Mutlu bir insan bile sayılabilirim. Aslında o kadar ümitsiz değilim. Hayallerim bile var diyebilirim. Sadece yoruldum. Adımlarımı tek tek sayar oldum. Sadece kırıldım. Parçalarımı toplamaya koyuldum.
Another evening descended upon us, but the pile of rubble still didn't yield. We held on to the hope that somewhere in its belly there might still be life waiting for us, just as we were waiting for them. We had grueling hours behind us, and we had to face the harsh reality that there were no live signals coming from anywhere. It was László Turi's birthday, and he had hoped for another miracle as a gift from fate. But he had to come to terms with the fact that there are forces beyond human control. Accepting that the search needed to end was one of the hardest things to acknowledge and understand. We left the site in silence and with heavy hearts. Turkish foresters and miners took our place, facing the daunting task of recovering for burial the remains of the dead while the grieving families waited in the background. In our minds, Ahmet's well-being was the only comfort we could hold on to. We also tried to draw strength from each other. As we prepared to break camp, our Turkish volunteers came together to congratulate László Turi on his birthday, filled with gratitude and love. Despite the challenges and disappointments we had faced during the rescue efforts, we acknowledged the importance of celebrating life amidst the sorrow. Word of the successful rescue spread quickly in the camp, and those who were present at the time wanted to have a joint photo with the life-saving team. It was a moment to capture an eternal memory of the time spent together. However, it is an illusion to believe that any of us can ever forget what we experienced during the rescue mission. This is how the miners and emergency responders around us bid farewell to the Hungarian team. It will take a long time for the country to repair the physical damage and make the destroyed residential areas livable again. However, there is no quick way to repair the emotional and psychological damage caused to the soul. Ahmet is one of the fortunate ones, and we are also fortunate to have been there during the critical days that determined his fate. Ahmet will always hold a special place in our hearts. His family has embraced us as part of their own family. We have also maintained contact with the Montenegrin firefighters even after they returned home. They inquire about Ahmet's well-being daily and even made a joint greeting video and sent a gift for his birthday on February 23rd.
Arkadaşlar göndermiş.
Hayır ama çok dikkat etmen lazım. Valla çok ayrı bence.
Ahmet's gift, prepared by our team, also arrived from Hungary. Our ambassador personally brought it to Adana.
Çıkaralım mı hepsini tek tek? Hadi buraya şöyle dizelim. Ahmet dinozor.
There was also time to play together before our little hero could finally return home from the hospital that same day. "Let's escape," he kept saying. I wish the whole rescue team could have been here on this day to witness the energy and vitality of this little boy.
Ahmet hangisi?
I wish we could all carry him together to the car on our shoulders. Indeed, Ahmet's willpower will be crucial during his rehabilitation process. It's understandable that Ahmet may not fully comprehend the reason behind the restrictions on his activities, such as going to the playground with his cousins. At the age of 5, Ahmet may not fully understand what happened, but he may still be affected by the trauma. It's important for the family to be mentally prepared for the challenges and unanswerable questions that may arise.
İyi ki doğdun Ahmet, iyi ki doğdun Ahmet.
Ahmet will receive his first prosthesis in 3 months at the earliest. In the hospital, his paternal grandmother, Grandma Ulku, takes care of him. After he recovers, he will stay with her and with his grandfather, Grandpa Ahmet, in Adana. They will raise him. The relatives, both on the father's and mother's side, will support them to the best of their ability. May God bless you, little Ahmet. We won't let go of your hand.
Bilgisayar. Oo, açalım. Açalım. Dur. Çok güzel.
Çocukluğumda anlatılan masallar kadar güzel ve renkli bir arka bahçesi var. Çiçekleri sadece kendine kadar. Sus, kimse duymasın, çiçeklerin canı yanar. Gözlerinin kenarlarında dalgalar mı var, yoksa orada da ayrı bir hayat mı var? İçinde onlarca hikaye barındıran. Şşş, boş verin diyor, hikayeler falan yalan. Neden fısıldadığını sorduğumda kuşlar falan içeride şarkı söylüyorlar. Hiç durmadan, seslerindeki melodiler olmadan. Yaşanmaz ki öyle hayat bir dakika duymadan. Senin dünyan dolu diyor yalan dolan insanların içinde hep menfaat falan. Onların kalbi sadece kan pompalar. Benimkinde ise renkler, çocuklar falan. İşte o yüzden kimseyi almaz bahçesine, verandasında uzanıp bakar keyfine. Eğer isterse resimler çizer tuvaline, fırçasıyla katar seni hayaline. İşte o yüzden kimseyi almaz bahçesine, verandasında uzanır bakar keyfine. Eğer isterse resimler çizer tuvaline, fırçasıyla katar seni hayaline.